Hello and welcome to another special episode of HW Straight Drive with me Anil Rajpurohit and our sports editor Mahesh Kuti. With one step away of registering its place in the Final Four, India plays its sixth match against West Indies. India, who nearly won the match against Afghanistan, plays the heavy-headed West Indies. So Mahesh, do you think India would be able to bounce back or able to strongly play West Indies after a near win against Afghanistan?
See, the match against Afghanistan was a very close match. I think Afghanistan pushed India to the limits. But I think India is far more experienced than the West Indies team, so they will definitely bounce back. India are a very professional side. They understand how to play the big matches. Maybe against Afghanistan, the pitch that they played on was not conducive to their kind of batting. I'm not very sure about the kind of pitch that will be dished out to them against West Indies, but if it's a beautiful batting wicket on a warm sunny day, India will go hammer and tongs.
Do you think the way the Indian middle order collapsed in the match against Afghanistan, do you think they are over-dependent on Rohit Sharma or they are missing the services of Shikhar Dhawan?
Both. Rohit Sharma has been in red hot form and Shikhar Dhawan has just scored a beautiful century against Australia. What happened is against Pakistan, both the openers, KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma both played well. But against Afghanistan, Rohit Sharma got out very early. That actually did not give India any momentum. India very dependent on somebody like Rohit Sharma, who may not actually set the stage on fire immediately, but once he's set in for about 10-15 overs, you can be rest assured this guy is in for a long haul. Maybe against West Indies, we might not have that trouble because Rohit Sharma's failure for second consecutive match looks unlikely. He's in very good form. Through the World Cup, he's been India's #1 player. So once he gets going, then it becomes fairly easy for somebody like Virat Kohli and the middle order to come and capitalize on the start.
West Indies lost a near match against New Zealand. Do you think the West Indian team, this current West Indian team, is a threat to the Indian team?
The West Indian team, like Pakistan, are the most unpredictable side. You don't know what West Indies can dish out. They've got fantastic bowlers. Remember, their fast bowlers are all now very good. And with their batting, that looks good on paper because they've got some experienced players as well as they've got youth on their side. They've got the experience of somebody like Christopher Henry Gale, who can actually turn the game on his own. Then they've got Hetmar, Hope, young but very talented. They've got Jason Holder, experienced, Brathwaite. I don't know whether Andre Russell will be included in the Indian team against the Indian team because I think he was injured last time around. But if he is going to play, it'll be very interesting. The match then becomes anyone can win on their given day.
The biggest player in the current West Indian team, or said to be the X factor of the West Indian team, is Chris Gill. Do you think he would be playing his final game against India? And how will he play the final game?
See, Gale has said that he's going to retire after the World Cup. So, in all probability, this should be his last game unless India play them again in the semis or in the finals, which is looking very, very difficult for the West Indies. Gale has been a supreme ambassador for cricket around the world. He's played brilliantly around the world. Cricket will miss him, there's no doubt about that. And he would want to make this World Cup memorable not only for him but for his fans. So even yesterday that he played against New Zealand, he played brilliantly. So you can expect a lot of fireworks from Gale going ahead in the tournament.
The West Indian bowling attack before the World Cup was looking promising. Do you think it is a threat to Indian team?
Yeah, they like what I said, they've got good fast bowlers. I mean, they're pretty quick both in the air and off the wicket. So India will be well advised to not take them lightly at all. These are bowlers who can actually just change the game in a spell. He'll come and pick up 2 or 3 wickets and then India will be found wanting.
The most key players for the West Indian team currently is Darren Bravo and Lewis. Darren Bravo missed the game against New Zealand and Lewis came to bat at the near end. Do you think they have a chance to play against the Indian team?
You know, Bravo is a very talented player. I would want him to play for the West Indies more often. He's supposed to be a test match player, but you know what, a 50-over game, players like Joe Root, Kane Williamson, these are kind of players who actually hold the innings together. It won't be a bad idea for West Indies to ensure that he bats at number 3, so give him a lot of overs. He's a very stylish batsman. He reminds me a lot about Brian Lara, the way he is back lift and all that thing. So it's not a bad idea to put him at number 3 and tell him to hold the innings. You need to give him a definite role. You need to tell him that he has to bat long. He doesn't have to go after the bowling straight away. He can take his own time, but he needs to rotate the strike and also bat at least till the 40th or 45th over.
The Indian team in the last game against Afghanistan play with five full-time bowlers. Do you think they should include an extra bowler in this match against the West Indies?
See, as it is, the problem with India is that batting is looking not too good in the second half of the batting lineup. If you see 4, 5 and 6, last time was Vijay Shankar, Kedar Jadhav and MS Dhoni. We need somebody solid at number 4. If Vijay Shankar has not been able to do it, then we need to get somebody like Dinesh Karthik or Rishabh Pant or somebody like that. Though the idea of playing somebody like Ravindra Jadeja is very good because he gets 2 dimensions into the game. He can bowl, he can field brilliantly and he can also bat. If Jadeja can contribute with the bat more than what he has been over the last few years, then I think he should have a regular place in the Indian side.
So do you think there would be any change in the first playing 11 of the Indian team?
See, a lot of questions have been asked whether Vijay Shankar should be dropped or not. If he is dropped, I think the first preference might be Rishabh Pant. What happens is that India's top order, in the absence of Shikhar Dhawan, don't have a left-handed batsman. Now that's a big disadvantage. When you have a left and right combination right at the top, that was when Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma was playing, the bowlers have to keep altering their line and that ensures that there is a lot of errors on their side. Because when you're bowling to Shikhar Dhawan, you're actually bowling on the off side of Rohit Sharma when you're bowling to the leg side of Shikhar Dhawan. And the bowlers have to keep altering it, otherwise they keep going in for wides. So if they can get somebody like Rishabh Pant to bat at number 4, Hardik Pandya can continue to come in late. Now what is happening is if it's a 30th over, 32nd over, they push Hardik Pandya to go out and bat up the order. They won't have to do it because Rishabh Pant is actually as devastating as Hardik Pandya.
So who according to you would be the key players in this game?
For India, I think it has to be Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Rohit Sharma has to bat at least till about 30-35 overs. If he bats till 30-35 overs, rest assured India get a huge score. Virat Kohli is in sublime form. So even if he's not had a great match, he would have still scored some 60-65 runs. So to me, if these two can actually contribute at the start of the game, I think India will be in a very good position halfway through the match.
So what are your predictions for the game? The Indian team looks comfortable against the West Indies.
Yeah, India on paper look good. They're in good form. Maybe the Afghanistan match, you don't have to read a lot. I think it could be just an aberration. They would have realized that how close they were to losing the match against Afghanistan. Maybe a couple of hits by Nabi, match would have been the result would have been very different. Knowing the Indians and knowing the professionalism in this current Indian team, I'm sure they'll work very hard. They would have already gotten to the drawing boards and realized where they went wrong. And if a team identifies where they went wrong, the recovery methods would definitely be faster and better. I'm sure the Indians would be well prepared to play the West Indies on Thursday.
With the chance to cement its place in the final 4, India would like to forget its performance which was played against Afghanistan. We'll meet you after the match of the review of the India versus West Indies game. Till then, it's goodbye from all of us.